My husband left me passed out on the floor while sick and then got mad at me the next morning. I see him different now. We've been married for a few years and have a baby. We had relationship issues after the baby, but I thought we had resolved them, and he promised that he would be better and all that. He did get better. He did his share around the house, and house chores aren't a big issue because he just does what he needs to be done without complaint or comment. But something at the back of my head felt off, and I never really explored the nagging feeling, but now I realize that he never showed me any extra care. In fact, he gets upset or easily frustrated with me if I cause any extra inconvenience. I'm not sure how I didn't notice until now. So 2 days ago, I think I got sick. I was feeling that gross, thick skin feeling, and vertigo, lightheaded, I don't know, and by nighttime, I was shivering and freezing. I was still able to function, so I didn't think much of it. I complained to my husband about it, and then we went to sleep. Yesterday, I woke up feeling like my bones were lead. I don't know how I functioned yesterday, but it felt like autopilot. My boss messaged me with some tasks, so I did them on my phone before my baby woke up. I rolled out of bed and somehow took my sister to school. Came back and worked some more. Usually I have energy to flip between being a mum and working, but yesterday I laid on the floor to work while my 1-year-old watched some Miss Rachel, and then had to pick up my sister from school, come home to make dinner, and by the time my husband came home, I felt dead on my feet. Anytime I moved, it felt like I was lagging and my body couldn't keep up. I told my husband this a few times. We ate, I put away the leftovers and put the baby to sleep while my husband went to his office to do some quick work. After this, I don't really remember because my brain was foggy. I found myself in his office, we exchanged a few words, but I don't remember what, and next thing, I woke up alone in his office on the floor. I felt so heavy and out of it. It took so much effort to get up, but when I got out, all the lights were off, the kitchen was not touched, and he was in bed. I just stood in the kitchen and realized that he just doesn't care. I already knew that he was going to clean the kitchen tomorrow, and that he didn't care I felt off. I had a busy day planned, and I didn't have time to wash all the dishes the next day. So I loaded the dishwasher and then went to bed. I laid down, and 5 minutes later, my husband, very angrily, told me to turn off the lights in the kitchen. At this point, I had no energy to deal with him, so I ignored him and fell asleep. The next morning, today, I woke up covered in sweat, but that gross feeling was gone. That's when I realized that I was sick. My husband was upset with me. He wouldn't talk or look at me and was stomping around. I tried to ask him about yesterday, but he just grumbled something about me confusing him. Everything from yesterday caught up, and I just can't see him the same. I've realized that he has never taken care of me or done anything that was inconvenient for him. I've been sick before, and every time it's the same thing. He gets upset at me somehow. After I had a baby, he was upset that nothing was kept up around the house, yet got angry at me when I fainted from overexertion at 2 weeks postpartum. I remember him yelling at me that I did this to myself and it's my fault for not taking care of myself, even though just 2 days before, he was telling me that he was angry with me for not keeping up with the laundry and that I needed to clean the kitchen because it was starting to smell and he didn't want to cook anymore. Don't even get me started on how he never woke up at night. All these memories hit me, and I'm just disgusted by him. How did I not see this? What do I even do? I'm going to stop here before this post gets too long. Edit, he just texted me saying he's beat and could barely brush his teeth this morning. I don't even know what to respond. I can't believe I took care of this man every time he got sick and after 2 surgeries. In the comments, Desperate to Not Dream says, "You didn't leave the room. He did. That means at some point you were laying on the floor and he walked out and left you there and just went to bed. And turned the lights off on her too. So he knew she was laying there, didn't freak out about any of it, just turned the lights off and went to bed, then got mad at her for leaving a light on. Like, this man actively hates her. She could have fucking died there." OP needs to see a doctor. OP, you're kind of putting your husband's feelings and convenience and needs before yours and your own child's. What if you fell while with your child and he wasn't there? You need your health. Don't wait for him anymore. Wait, you passed out in front of him and he just left you laying on the floor? I'm usually a work on things advice giver, but not here. Get a lawyer and figure out how to get out of there. OP replies, that's the part that I'm a little confused about. I have no idea what happened. I've only fainted once before, so I wonder if I just laid on the floor. He wouldn't talk to me this morning, and I kind of don't care to find out because it doesn't really matter. He left me there anyway. Yeah, none of what you described is okay, and I wouldn't want a child around someone with those beliefs and behaviors. Someone asked the question just before, what if you fell with the child and he wasn't there? I think it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't change the dynamic. He saw her pass out in front of him, and he just walked over her body. Why, if you fell with a child, would it be any different? This is someone that has complete apathy for you. Someone that has checked out of the relationship, and I don't even know why he's with you anymore at this point. I can see why you're with him because you want to make the family work, but I think there's nothing left to say. Why work on this relationship with him? He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care if you live or die. Leave his ass. And now, onto the update. Hi. So I'm still alive. I've had a surprising amount of people message me a week or two ago, and it's very kind of you people to care. I'll go right into what happened. I went to the hospital that day, since a shocking percentage of people suspected he could have messed with something, but no. The doctor said nothing came up, but he did say I had high blood pressure and recommended me to a cardiologist. I still have a month left before the appointment. When my husband got home from work, he was acting like everything was normal. I wanted to see if he would inquire at all about my faint the night prior, but nothing. So after the baby was settled for the night, I asked him why I woke up alone in his office. And he got instantly angry with me and seemed annoyed that I even brought it up. He said that I was acting confused, and what was he supposed to do? I should have told him what I wanted him to do. I told him about the visit to the hospital, and he said that going to the hospital is a little much. I told him the doctor said that I'm showing signs of heart issues, likely caused by stress. And he blew up on me, yelling that I'm causing my own early grave and that it's my fault for not taking care of myself. With that, he closed himself in the room, leaving me to clean up after dinner alone again. Except I decided that I wouldn't, so I went to the couch and watched a movie. He came out, suddenly friendly and flirty. He tried to lay with me and ask what I was doing, and he kept trying to act cute, and when I wasn't showing much response to it, he got angry and stormed off, locking me out of the bedroom. The next morning, I woke up to him slamming around the kitchen and cussing about how I couldn't even properly clean the kitchen. I just went to the bedroom and went back to sleep, if you can call it that, because he kept doing things to keep me awake. He complained later that day about how he was so hungry because I didn't make him breakfast or lunch. I gave myself a break day. I didn't work, I didn't focus on the house, I was just a mum, and I spent time with our baby. I went to the park, to the library, to my in-laws. I tried to talk to her about the heart thing, and she responded with, "Poor husband, he's probably going to stress about this." And that is when I realized I couldn't do this anymore. I got pizza for dinner and got home right after my husband. He was not happy, and it was different this time. I tried to ignore his obvious tension. He cleaned the kitchen very loudly and was muttering under his breath. I washed up our daughter and put her to bed, trying not to feel anxious. When I came out, he started talking very aggressively about how I've been letting myself get lazy and he won't take my lack of effort. A relationship is a two-way street, he said. I started yelling back about how I cook, clean, manage his child, and work at the same time, so how is it that I'm the one that's lazy when he keeps expecting me to do more things too? Things escalated, and he started throwing dishes at me. When he ran out of things to throw, he strangled me. Then he left the house and I called the police. My baby was woken up, the neighbors were there because they heard yelling and glass breaking. It was chaos. When he came back, he tried to say I did everything. Even the bruises around my neck were self-inflicted apparently. I'm still trying to process everything. It all happened so fast. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I just sucked it up and didn't rebel. Would our relationship be fine? I have my first therapy session scheduled for next Tuesday, so I guess I'll talk about it then. My husband is at his mum's now. I'm at my grandmother's for now and have almost all of my stuff out of our apartment. We have a temporary restraining order. Official hearing is tomorrow morning. I'm scared if I'm honest. I haven't seen him since that night. My daughter keeps asking me where Dad is, and I don't know what to tell her. There's my update. I feel so numb to it all. I can probably type much more that happened, but it already feels so long. Plus, I don't want to cry again. Edit. I reread all of this, and I sound like a big whiny baby. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I promise I don't sound like this in person. I also wanted to add a thought. I don't know if I would have called the police and all if I hadn't posted before. I honestly don't know. This is the most scariest thing that he's done to me, but he's done plenty of other things before. When I originally posted, it was more of a vent post. All your caring, kind thoughts moved me. It gave me the little push that I needed. I only have my little sister and my grandmother. I can't tell my grandmother any of these details because she's too frail and sensitive. My dad was an alcoholic and died while driving under the influence. My mum left us after that for a guy in Russia. I don't know how she's doing, but she used to treat us very poorly, so I really don't care. Point is, thank you all. The responses here are too kind, and I don't even know what to say. In the comments, Inkheart Tower says, "Hey, I normally don't actually comment on these things too much, but as a literal therapist, I'm begging you to go through with the official court hearing tomorrow and to leave this man. I have counseled countless women who convinced themselves that it wasn't that bad for one reason or another. It was that bad. That man could have killed you and had no problem throwing various things at you, intending to cause harm. I know this is difficult, and you likely feel terrified at the idea of what comes next, but whatever comes next without him is infinitely better than whatever comes next if you stay with him. I can nearly guarantee that. Both you and your child deserve better. Good luck." As a psychologist, I'm thirding this. This man is extremely dangerous, and he already tried to kill you once. Please don't go anywhere near him to give him the opportunity to try again. You are not a whiner or a complainer. You weren't verbalizing your trauma and completely justified. It's also completely normal to feel numb and disassociate after such a trauma. Lean on your family and any other positive supports. Stick with therapy and request to file charges against this guy. Reach out to a local domestic violence support agency and request an advocate. I wish you all the best. Professional Kiwi says, "I'm not a psychologist, but I've survived an abusive relationship. Please listen to them, OP. Imagine someone were treating your child like this or a close friend. This is not okay. It's scary, but trust me, it gets better. I walked out with what I could carry in paper grocery bags and only saw him again in court. My life is awesome, and I'm so grateful for the second chance. I hope you see this. My sister was in the same situation 3 years ago. Her death anniversary is in a few weeks. Please leave. They don't change. I'm so sorry, but strangling someone is a big red flag and correlates heavily with severe violence and killing your partner. Please be safe, stay away from your husband, and call the support line for victims of domestic violence. They can help you stay safe. Again, I'm sorry. None of this is your fault. A red flag is something that happens before a major incident. It's a signal that something way worse is to come. Strangling is not a red flag. It's a major, never come back from terrible incident. All of that and then some, OP. I do hope that you come back in the future with another update telling us that you left him and that he didn't get a chance to harm you again. I'm sorry he did that to you. You didn't deserve it. You deserve nothing but kindness, love, and support surrounding you, and a partner that cares whether you live or die, not a partner that will be the one to kill you. Which, in this situation, he showed that he was more than capable of doing so, and you were very lucky that he stopped strangling you when he did. Again, please listen to the comments. Please put as much distance between you and him as you can. The most dangerous time is now, when you are leaving. Good luck and stay safe. Our next post is by user Doc I Am Tired, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for not being very strict with my daughter at my house compared to my ex-wife, which has led to my ex-wife and I exchanging some words to each other? I, 43 male, have a daughter, 16 female, who I have joint custody over with my ex-wife, 39 female. We got divorced when my daughter was a baby, and the court awarded 50-50 custody for the both of us. I will admit, though, being a doctor comes with its consequences. I haven't been as present as I wish I could have been. When my daughter was 13, she started telling me things that her mum does or rules that she has in place over her and how she thinks it's unfair. I would listen to her and advise her to talk to her mum. My daughter then would ask if she has to obey those rules over here still, to which I said no. At first, it was just small stuff that I find nitpicky, things like not being able to eat in the living room. As she's gotten older, she started making more requests for privileges in my house, and it's pretty much gone like this. Example 1. Mum doesn't let me hang out with friends during the week. I say, well, that's dumb. If you have a ride there and back, you can go with your friends. Example 2. Mum doesn't let me wear comfortable clothes around the house. She says I have to dress modestly. I say, you can walk around the house naked for all I care. Example 3. You and Mum's houses don't have locks on my bedroom door. I say, there isn't a lock. I can call a guy out and have him put a lock in for you if you want. Example 4. Mum doesn't let me drink soda. And I say, do you want soda? If so, I can order it with our groceries from Hy-Vee. You get the idea. I don't want to say I've become a doormat for my daughter, but I'm not nearly as stingy about rules. It's her house just as much as it's mine in my eyes. My ex-wife recently has been going off on my daughter and I about how I'm letting her get away with any and everything, and how my lack of discipline at my house is leading her to break rules at her mother's house. I told my ex-wife that she should ease up on our daughter because she's almost a damn adult and doesn't need to be treated like a toddler. My ex-wife went bananas over the phone with me, and at her house, she went off on my daughter for being an undisciplined brat. My ex-wife is threatening to take me to court for custody if I don't straighten up my act, and I told her she can kiss my ass. It has me wondering though, am I being an asshole to my ex-wife? Is this bad dad behavior? I want my daughter to feel safe, comfortable, and happy, and I want to believe I'm doing that. If I am being an asshole to my ex-wife, what do I do? In the comments, Bitter Scorpio says, not the asshole. The clothes and the door lock concern me. Is your ex remarried? Other kids in the house? Policing what she wears at home and calling it modest makes it seem like your child is some sort of sexual object and not a kid. And then the lock, it really sounds like she wants to keep people out. You should ask her about that more in depth. The other thing some people are more strict on than others, your ex cannot control what happens in your house. Whether she likes it or not, you are an equal parent. OP says, now that you mentioned the lock thing, that does seem concerning. I just passed it off as she wants her own privacy and left it as that. Before my daughter mentioned it, I didn't even know the door didn't have a lock. Bitter Scorpio replies, it very could well be that she's 16 and wants privacy. Most 16-year-olds do. It just was interesting to me that she felt the need to ask for a lock. I also haven't been in many homes that don't have locks on the bedroom doors. It could be the house doesn't have them, or your ex took them. I just brought it up because I think asking her would not only validate her, but open it up for discussion if something weird was happening. Counterpoint, I never had a lock growing up. Neither did my sister or my parents. We just didn't need them to have privacy. People knocked and waited to be invited in before coming in. I never felt the need for a lock and never asked for one. The fact that the daughter asked for a lock is odd for me. Let her take you to court and say that your daughter is 16 and she's old enough to decide in mediation. So your daughter can speak to the mediator. They will ask her who she wants to live with. Her mother sounds unreasonable, control issues. I'd ask your daughter if she's okay at mum's home and if she's safe. You are not the asshole. Back up to the post, there's an update. I've been talking to my daughter and ex-wife over the last several hours and have figured out a few things. 1. There is no other permanent resident at my ex's house. No boyfriend, no husband, no other kids, nothing like that. My ex does have this book club thing that she hosts and has guests once a month, but all are adults. 2. My ex-wife doesn't let my daughter have a lock on her door because, and I quote, I'm not going to give her the ability to hide her drugs or boyfriends that she is sleeping with. 3. My ex doesn't let my daughter see her friends during the week because she says her friends are distractions to school. However, her report card says she's doing just fine academically. 4. My ex doesn't just control what she wears, but also doesn't let her use makeup or even watch/consume adult media. My daughter says that my ex called her attire trampy one time because she was wearing a shirt with no bra. My ex denies saying this, but I wouldn't put it past her. 5. I asked my daughter if she would be okay with my searching her room, and my daughter said that she had nothing to hide. I looked around, and guess what? No drugs, no vapes, no illegal plans to take over the US government, nothing like that. Normal 16-year-old girl room. 6. I asked my daughter if she would have a problem with me putting a Life 360 on her phone so I can see where she goes. She handed me her phone and said again that she has nothing to hide, so she doesn't care. 7. I did talk to my daughter about her attitude and treatment to her mother. She agreed that she has been acting out, and she said she will call or text me if she has an issue with something that her mum is doing. She said she will respect her mother's rules, but she did ask me to talk to her about her mother's comments about her body. Apparently, my daughter feels like her mother is sexualizing her and her body, and it makes her uncomfortable. I agreed to talk to her mum about it, and so far that conversation is deadlocked because her mum will not let up on her whole modesty shit. 8. My daughter told my ex that she tried to take me to court. My daughter will ask a judge to live with my mum full-time. More to come update-wise. Thank you all for your input. I have a lot of harsh, mean, and unkind things to say about your wife, but I will keep them locked up in my head today. If I were to have children with someone this batshit crazy, though, that turned out to be this controlling, manipulative, and unkind in the way that they treat our daughter, in the way that they police everything, I would very much regret ever being with that person in the first place. I would question myself and my life choices that led to me reproducing with such a psycho. That is not shade at you at all, OP. You couldn't have known that she would turn out like this. No one can. People change. People lose their minds, and that's okay. That's not a reflection on you. You are not being strict with your daughter at all. Your ex-wife is just a complete lunatic, and I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if your daughter never speaks to her again after this. That is no way to treat someone that you love. Your daughter deserves so much better, and your ex-wife will never be that. And she deserves to be cut off. So no, you're not the asshole for being more strict with her. You are amazing for being a great support system and the voice of normality in her life. And now, on to the updates. I just want to say thank you to everyone who gave their input on the situation. Over the past 7 days, I've been going through a lot of stress between work, my daughter's reaction, and my ex-wife. To start, last Sunday, I had very long discussions with my ex-wife about our daughter. To not ramble on, because daughter says it's yapping now, I'll give you the short version. My ex-wife says that she has to be strict on my daughter so that she doesn't turn out bad. She doesn't let my daughter wear makeup, hang out with her friends during the week, eat certain foods, and drink certain drinks, consume certain media, have locks on her doors, wear certain clothes, and she makes my daughter text her every hour she's not at school, both out of the house on weekends, detailing who she is with, where she is at, and what they are doing. Ah yes, and famously, this behavior from parents never backfires, and it never results in the opposite things happening to their child. The child will never rebel when having such tough restrictions on their life and surveillance. No. I talked to my daughter about her mother, and my daughter says her life over there is stressful, feeling like she's always being watched. She feels like she has no freedoms or autonomy, that she is at the mercy of her mother. My daughter did admit that she's been acting out recently at her mother's house, but I can't really blame her. I talked to one of my female co-workers who has 3 daughters about the situation I'm in. She said she's worried about my ex-wife mentally abusing my daughter, and I agreed. Some of you online also pointed out that my ex-wife could be sexualizing and objectifying my daughter, to which I've also come to agree to. I knew my daughter and ex-wife have issues and have been butting heads on and off now for a while, but I didn't know that it was this bad. Regardless, I talked to my daughter about her mother's rules at her house. If her mother doesn't want her eating in the living room or drinking Sprite, she's allowed to have that rule. I told her she cannot like it all she wants, but at the end of the day, they are not unreasonable requests. My daughter, though, very firmly asked me to talk to my ex-wife about the things that bug her the most. Those things are what she does and does not wear in the house, a lock on her door, and the rules in place about her friends. Only on the weekends and texting her mum constantly. I asked my daughter if she would be okay with me tracking her on Life 360, and she said she's okay with me tracking her, but not her mother. My daughter tells me pretty much everything, though sometimes I wish she didn't overshare information that I don't need to know about, and she says she trusts me and knows I trust her. But she doesn't want her mum to be able to track her at all hours of the day. The lock on her door was something else we discussed. I asked my daughter why she wanted a lock on her door, and she provided information I absolutely did not need to know, but basically, she wants privacy and to be alone sometimes. I checked her room out, with her in the room, and didn't find anything like drugs or plans to overthrow the Illuminati, so she's good on that front. When I asked her mother why she can't have a lock, she says, and it's because she, and I quote, doesn't want her having sex, doing drugs, or hiding things from her. Apparently my ex-wife just barges into her room and searches her things. I found that to be ridiculous and a complete violation of my daughter's privacy, and I pitched a fit to my ex about it. No wonder my ex doesn't know any of my daughter and I's little secret, that she's bisexual. She can't even trust her mother not to go through her shit. Next, the whole issue about what she does and doesn't wear in the house. In my house, I couldn't give less of a fuck. Usually she walks around in a shirt with no bra, wearing boxers or some shit. Sometimes she wears normal clothes, sometimes she goes nude, sometimes she wears one of those full-body pajama suits. Don't give a shit, but she knows the rules about it. She has to leave the house wearing normal clothes, and she needs to have normal clothes on when guests are at the house. When she's there alone or with me, she can do whatever. Her mum, on the other hand, has been sexualizing her daughter and making incredibly suggestive comments about her body. My ex denies doing this, but I don't think my daughter would lie about it, and knowing my ex-wife, she 100% said it. My ex has said my daughter dresses trampy, flaunts herself like a stripper, and is not a modest woman. Needless to say, this pisses me off 6 ways to Sunday, and we exchanged some heated words over the topic. My daughter came over to the house today for our 50-50 custody swap, and immediately went and locked herself in her room. At first I thought maybe she was going to go FaceTime her friends or something, so I let her be for a bit, but after she didn't come out after an hour or so, I knocked on her door, and my daughter had been crying. I asked her why, and she said that my ex told her that she's going to take me to a court and ensure that I won't see her again. I just got done counseling my heartbroken daughter, typing all of this out with her tears and snot on my nice shirt. There's the update. I say game on, my fucking witch-ass ex-wife. In the comments, oh my, your daughter is 16 and doesn't want to live with her. Your ex is gonna get a nasty surprise. The mum's gonna be crying to everyone about how her daughter cut her off. Thank goodness this girl has one good parent. I can't wait to hear about what the court says about her sexualizing the daughter. Judge is gonna eat that lady for breakfast. And yeah, as they should. None of that treatment is acceptable. You can't be doing that. You can't be objectifying your child. That is straight up child abuse. And she really genuinely believes the court is going to rule in favor of the child abuser in this case, where the 16-year-old will directly testify against the mother. Good luck with that. Genuinely good luck with that. Because it's not going to happen. Not in a million years. OP is going to be granted custody in this case. And that mum will have 2 years of full child support ahead of her to pay. I hope we get another update on this one where OP confirms that to be the case, because if it's not, I'm going to be very much disappointed in the justice system for delivering an injustice in this case. Thank you, OP, for being the kind, amazing, supportive dad that everyone wishes they had in their life. And if they did, good on you guys. You're doing a great job. Keep it up, OP. Lovely to hear it. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.